Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to go over something that everybody else has gone over except me. Well, kind of. I kind of went over it a couple of weeks ago. I'll link you to that video. I am talking about Star Wars, Battlefront 2, EA debacle, all that hot mess that we have. So we all know what is going on with Star Wars Battlefront 2. But a quick recap, just really quick. Basically, EA decided to ass rape Star Wars and video game fans by making the game pay to win. You can opt to not chill out more than the initial $60, but then that means that it would take you a complete full-time job work week to unlock one character. And then on top of that, you need to get star cards to make that playable character competitive. Fans got pissed, and then EA apologized, tried to flip it, but couldn't. In the end, EA decided to turn off all microtransactions, at least for now. And maybe it was because Disney actually called EA and said, what the fuck? EA eliminated pay to win, and Star Wars fans rejoice. Alright, now I want to go over an article that attacks the gamer. I will attack this article, and this video will be sent to the author of this article. KeyBank Capital Markets put out a statement basically saying that it's too bad a capitalistic corporation succumbed to pressure by consumers. They said, quote, "Games aren't overcharged, they're undercharged, and we're gamers." No, they're not, but whatever. This saga has been a perfect storm for overreaction as it involves EA, Star Wars, Reddit, and certain purist gaming journalists outlets who dislike MTX, end quote. Microtransactions basically stands for, MTX stands for microtransactions, FYI. Well, of course people aren't gonna like it. People don't like this, and of course this KeyBank Capital Markets representative doesn't like that we don't like it. It attacks the business model that corporations are now using in all of communications, which is monthly subscriptions. Now I know pay to win isn't exactly monthly subscriptions, but that's what they want. They want a constant revenue stream. Even now, even if you don't buy an iPhone, you pay for it monthly because companies know we can't really afford the damn thing. Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all of the big media organizations, companies do this. Apple does it with their stupid cloud service. You know, even Disney does this. If you get this was a while ago, but if you got a yearly pass several years ago, you can get it and make a monthly payment, and they'll even send you Disney DVDs in the mail. And if you didn't want them, you could return them or keep them and get charged. But now, honestly, how many of us would likely return the DVDs, right? This ensures continuous revenue into the companies. That's what they want. They want to be able to tell to their shareholders, say, hey, we have these many people paying this monthly fee, which means that we have secured this much money for next quarter, or at least the foreseeable future, right? I mean, of course, some people can cancel and everything, but more or less, if you have a monthly subscription, you're not going to cancel it willy-nilly. At least that's what they hope. So that's what they want. They want to have good numbers for the shareholders. All right. So besides trying to get as much money as possible, what makes this Wall Street firm think gamers should spend more? Besides the fact that they want more of our money, right? That's the obvious reason. But let's continue. And keep in mind that these are the same people that created credit default swaps, which are basically insurance policies without the word insurance in them in the name, to circumnavigate policies which made it easier for them to gamble with money that isn't theirs, which resulted in the stock market crash back in 2008. Okay, got that? Good. You can look that up online later. So what makes them think gamers are cheap, and why should we pay more, right? According to them. Well, I'm going to break down the numbers that they use. This is a breakdown, and they don't use a formula, so we'll try to calculate the numbers and show my work, because if you don't show your work, any normal professor will laugh at your ass and not give you credit. Basically, you would fail a test without showing your work, which means that this article's author already didn't do due diligence and failed at reporting. But let's see what numbers they got. Okay, so they basically said you spent $60 on the game, $60 on the game, without tax, of course, and an extra $20 per month for 1 year, and played 2.5 hours a day. Those are the initial values that they give you to calculate this, right? Okay. So, what numbers did they come up with? Let's see, where's this article? Quote, he said if a gamer spent $60 for the game, an additional $20 per month for loot microtransactions boxes, and played around 2.5. Alright, so let's look at the numbers here with my Excel sheet. So initially I put $60 here because the game cost $60, but then I realized I had to spend $20 for the first month as well to calculate this, so I started with $80, right? So month 0, you spend $80. You spend $320 for the first year. Alright. You use the algebra formula, y equals mx plus b. Dollars equals 20x plus 80. 80 is the initial money that you spend upfront without the monthly, and that's $20 per month. So $20 times x, which x represents the time. So this is x. And here I calculated something a little bit separately. 912.5 hours total. How did I get that value? Well, in the article they say 2.5 hours per day times 365 days, which is in a year. That's how many hours total you played in a year. Because you want the unit price, the per hour price, right? Okay. So this should be 320. Let me put 320 here. And I did do it right. I just didn't change that. So 320, because that's a total value, divided by the total hours. So the total cost divided by the total time equals the dollar per hour, the unit rate, which is 0.35, or round off like the article said to 40 cents an hour. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go on to the cable example, and that's the last example I'm going to use. The movie rental I'm not going to do. They said 65 cents per hour, so that's this, right? Equals $1, because we don't know the total amount as we want to get, over 912.5, which is the same hours, right? Same hours. We're assuming that they're using same hours time. So that means that you solve the total dollars, which is 0.65 times 912.5. You just rearrange it, right? If you know algebra, you'll rearrange it. It comes out to $593 total for the whole year. A monthly rate of $50 a month. And I only did this to prove that they were doing reasonable numbers. So basically they're saying that you're paying $50 for cable, which is reasonable. That's how much I paid. That's how much a lot of people pay. Some people pay more, some people pay less. It depends on what you have. But $50 a month sounds reasonable. But then it falls apart when they say $3 per hour of a movie. And in the article, you will read that they say that. So let's say that the movie lasts 2 hours. That's $6 per movie. No. The average movie does not last 2 hours and a half. If it was 2 hours and a half, that'd be $3, $6, and $7.5 per hour per movie. $7.5 per movie. That's the ticket cost back in 1999. That was not the ticket cost in this year. Right now, tickets cost like $14 per person, so they completely fucked up on that one. Now, does that mean that they're actually saying that it's more expensive? So I'm actually helping them prove their point that it's cheaper for gaming entertainment, right? Well, yes, but if we continue reading the article, we'll see that they say this. The initial uproar centered on in-game purchases in Star Wars Battlefront 2. They allow players to save time by paying extra money to accelerate the unlock of major characters like Darth Vader. And this is the problem that I have with this article. This is the main problem. They say this, look, they allowed players, so we are permitting you to spend. Oh, how graceful. Thank you very much for permitting me to spend more money. they're basically turning, now video games are a commodity. They're basically applying what they apply to everything else to here, which is the more money you have to spend, the easier it will be for you in life and in games. And that's a dead truth about everything. If you have more money for lawyers, chances are you will win your case. If you have more money for doctors, chances are you'll live longer. If you have more money for a house, which that means that you will basically live a better life. And that's what they're applying here. And for some reason, gamers aren't liking this philosophy, and I agree with them. I don't like it either. But they basically are making everything about money, which we all know that's already true. So I'm just trying to iterate the point here that it's been done for everything. If it's done for healthcare and the EpiPens, which are like $400 every pen now, and then you're legally required to buy two for a backup. So it's like $800 for two pens or $400 for two pens. It's something outrageous. If they can apply this philosophy to everything else, what makes you think that they're not going to apply it to video games? Something that, by any rational person's account, you don't need to live. That's why organic food is more expensive, because, yeah, it costs more, so pay more money for it. You live better, but you got to spend more. So this is just basically just attacking the gamers on a budget, right? They're basically saying, well, if you're too poor to play games, well, then you need to spend a lot more time playing the game. But then, if you're too poor to play a video game, to afford a video game, to go through this, you probably are spending more time doing other things and therefore can't play as much. So yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say. Basically, EA is approaching this as any other business model: healthcare, housing, education, anything else you can think of. Save time by paying extra. And Disney does this too, and Universal Studios does this too. The I don't know what they call it in Disney, but they call it the Speed Pass, I think, where you basically you pay more money and you get to skip the line in front of the other poor people. That's basically what they're doing here. So that's the reality of life. It's depressing, I know, but I don't know why people are getting so upset if they apply this to everything else and now they're applying it to video games. Alright, let me know what you guys think. I will have links in the description. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.